안녕하세요. Welcome back to Korean Saturday School. Today is our first week of our fall semester, and I hope everyone had an amazing summer. Um, Today is we're going back straight into another lesson. Um, and I just want to say welcome to everybody. This is the New York 초대 한국 문화학교. For those of you that don't know, my name is Sarang Kim or Kim Sarang 선생님, and I am in charge of the 진달래반. So if you're new, welcome, and if not, welcome back. This semester, we're going to be using this book. It looks something like this, and it is the 맞춤 한국어 Level 2 book. So I've taught level 2 before, but this is a little bit different because it's the 영어권. So it's like it comes with like English in it too, so it'll be easier for you guys to understand. Okay. So once again, my name is Kim Sarang 선생님, and I want to welcome everybody back. Okay. So our first lesson is going to be lesson 1 in this book. This book should be in the package if you received it, and if not, the link to the PDF will be in the description below, so just click that if you need it. Alright, so lesson 1 is from page 10 through 15, so can everybody open your books to page 10? It should look something like this. So the title of our lesson today is 워싱턴에서 살아요. That means I live in Washington. So let's look. In the picture, we see a little girl and possibly an older woman, maybe her mom, and they're sitting on a bench and they're talking to each other, right? So let's read the dialogue on the bottom in the yellow box right here. So it says, 슬기는 어디에서 살아요? Where does 슬기 live? And it says, 슬기 answers, 워싱턴에서 살아요. I live in Washington. And then the next line, 학교에 다녀요? Do you attend school? And she says, 네, 학교에 다녀요. Yes, I attend school. So in today's lesson, we're going to learn a lot of different like states and cities. And we're going to learn how to answer where we live or where we're from, okay? So let's see. Let's go to the next page. And this is page 11, and on the top it says 어휘. That means vocabulary. So everybody, if you have like a notebook or a piece of paper, I want you guys to practice writing these at least 2 to 3 times, okay? All the vocabulary words. I want you to get familiar with it and try to memorize how to write it on your own without looking. So let's go over it. So the first one on the left, we see Washington, D.C. And basically, in Korean, Washington is Washington. It says Washington. Okay. Next to that, we see New York. And I'm pretty sure most of us are from New York, but if not, welcome to New York. Is where we live. So New York is also very easy. New York. New York. Okay. Next one next to that, it's Los Angeles and Cali. So it says we see the Hollywood sign and LA. So Los Angeles in Korean is Los Angeles. Okay? Los Angeles. So basically, we're just spelling out the word in Korean in the pronunciation of how we would say it in English. This goes for everything here. So next one, we see San Francisco. San Francisco in Korean is, it's broken down to San Francisco. If you read it fast, it's San Francisco. Okay? Sounds like English, just written in Korean. And then the middle picture on the bottom, it says Boston, Boston, Massachusetts. So Boston is Boston. Okay? Very similar. Actually, the same, just pronounced in a Korean accent. Boston. Okay? Last one, we see Miami. I've actually been to Miami and it was so beautiful there. But in Korean, Miami is Miami. It's literally the same thing, okay? So hopefully you guys don't get confused with this because it's literally English just written in Korean. So just get familiar with writing everything in Korean. So Washington, New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Boston, Miami. Okay? Just practice writing the spelling, okay? Alright, now let's move to the next page. Today's lesson is gonna go by really quickly because each lesson is only 5 pages, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's only 5 pages, okay? So let's go to the next page. Oh wait, no, that's not the next page. This is the bottom of the same page. Okay, yeah. So I split page 11 into 2 parts just because I wanted to fit it. And this is the bottom of page 11. So let's see. It says 문법 및 표현, grammar and expression. Okay? So let's see the dialogues. So the first girl, she's saying 어디에서 살아요? Where do you live? Okay? And then on the bottom he answers 뉴욕에서 살아요. I live in New York. Okay? So this question also implies to me. So if somebody asked me where I live, I would say 뉴욕에서 살아요. Okay? And then below that it says 학교에 다녀요? Do you go to school? 네, 학교에 다녀요. Yes, I go to school. This is also probably true for most of you guys, and it's also true to me because I still go to school. As much as we all hate it, we all started school again. So it says 학교에 다녀요? 네, 학교에 다녀요. Yes, I go to school. Okay. So practice asking questions like this to your family, your friends, whoever's there, mom, dad. Okay, ask them, where do you live or do you go to school? Just questions like this to practice, okay? Okay, now we can go to the next page. Now we're on page 12 and it should look something like this. This is where the CD comes in. If you can see on the top left, actually the top middle, there's like a circle that's like split in half. It kind of looks like a Pokemon ball. Yeah, it literally looks like a Pokemon ball. It says track 2. So in the back of your book, there should be a CD. You don't have to use it, but if you do want to, open it up to track number 2, okay? And if not, I'm just going to verbalize it for you. And I don't have a CD player, but I do know what it says. So this is our listening portion of our lesson. And what that means is you guys listen to what I'm saying and then you answer the question or you match it to the correct like picture or response, okay? So number 1, this is going to be in track 2. It says 어디에서 살아요? 연결해 보세요. Okay? Where do you live? Match the persons with the cities. All right. Okay, so number 1, I want you to listen very carefully. So I'm going to read. Number 1. 이슬기예요. 저는 뉴욕에서 살아요. I'm gonna read that again. 이슬기예요. 저는 뉴욕에서 살아요. Okay, so match it to the correct one. Number 2. 안녕하세요. 스티븐이에요. 저는 워싱턴에서 살아요. I'll read that again. 안녕하세요. 스티븐이에요. 저는 워싱턴에서 살아요. Okay, match it to the correct one. Number 3. 안녕하세요. 린다예요. 저는 마이애미에서 살아요. Again. 안녕하세요. 린다예요. 저는 마이애미에서 살아요. Last one. 김민수예요. 저는 샌프란시스코에서 살아요. I'm gonna read that again. 김민수예요. 저는 샌프란시스코에서 살아요. Alright, so should we go over our answers? So number 1 was 슬기예요. 저는 뉴욕에서 살아요. So it's Sergi, and she says she lives in New York, which is right here. So we're just gonna connect it just like that. Okay. And number two, Steven, it says 안녕하세요. Steven이에요. 저는 워싱턴에서 살아요. Hi, I'm Steven, and I live in Washington. Right here. Alright, number three was Linda. She said 안녕하세요. 린다예요. 저는 마이애미에서 살아요. So she lives in Miami, which is right here. Last one, 민수. 김민수예요. 저는 샌프란시스코에서 살아요. Hi, I'm Minsu and I live in San Francisco. Right here. So it should look something like this. Hopefully everybody got it right. It's written in English here, so it shouldn't be that difficult. Also, in your little packages, there should be a sticker, some stickers with a chart that says either 칭찬나무, where it's like there's space. So for every question you get right, you give yourself one sticker, okay? I actually don't have that with me right now, but I will show you in the next lesson how that looks like, okay? Okay, so good job if you got everything right, and if you got something mixed up, try to fix your answer. Okay, let's go to the next page. Now we're on page 13. So it says 이야기해요. 친구는 어디에서 살아요? 이야기해 보세요. Where does your friend live? Please share with your friends. So if you have someone next to you, you can practice with them. If not, that's totally fine. You can practice by yourself. So let's see. We have a map, and then we have various people across the United States living in different areas. So we have one in Boston, New York, Washington, Miami, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, okay? Let's see. So on the bottom of this page, it says, 미라는 어디에서 살아요? Mira, where do you live? So where is Mira on the map? Let's see. Where is Mira? I think this is Mira because Mira's answering here. So Mira lives in San Francisco, so she's going to say 샌프란시스코에서 살아요. I live in San Francisco. All right, let's practice this. So let's pretend we're asking this dude here where he lives. Okay, so let's see. In the beginning, in the front of our textbook, actually, they give you a list of the characters that come out throughout the textbook. So 등장인물. Okay, should look something like this. So they use the same people, so let's just memorize their names. I know how Sergi looks like. And then there's Minsu, Steven, Tony, Nita, Chunyoung, Sara, and Linda. Okay, so where does Minsu live? So we're gonna ask, 민수는 어디에서 살아요? This is Minsu right here. So we're gonna say 민수는 샌프란시스코에서 살아요. Oh no, that's not San. He lives in Los Angeles. Okay, sorry. So we're gonna say 민수는 로스앤젤레스에서 살아요. Okay. And then we're gonna ask, what else is here? We're gonna ask Tony where he lives. Tony is this dude right here. So we're gonna say 토니는 어디에서 살아요? Where does Tony live? And then Tony's gonna answer, 저는 뉴욕에서 살아요. So Tony is from New York. He's from where I am. Okay, and then let's see. This dude's name is Steven. So we're gonna say Steven은 어디에서 살아요? And he's gonna say, where is he from? He's gonna say 보스턴에서 살아요. Okay, and then who's left? Sara. Let's look at Sara. So 사라는 어디에서 살아요? 사라는 어디에서 살아? No pun intended. Where does she live? And she lives in Washington. So she's gonna say 워싱턴에서 살아요. Okay, Sara lives in Washington. Last one, I think we have Linda. So let's see. 린다는 어디에서 살아요? Where does Linda live? And she lives in Miami, so we're gonna say 마이애미에서 살아요. All right. So it's very easy, simple exercise. Okay. And you could also practice these questions with your friends or your parents. Ask them where they're from. Okay. I know my mom is from Seoul, so she's gonna say, but she doesn't live there anymore. But if she says she came from Seoul, she can say 서울에서 왔어요. But that's that's a different story, okay? All right, now let's practice some writing. So we're on page 14 now. Let's see, and it says, 써봐요. Let's write. 어디에서 살아요? 써보세요. Where do you live? Please write. Okay. So let's see. I split the page into two sections just because I couldn't fit it in one. But it is one page in the textbook. It looks like this. Okay. So on the top, first one it says 어디에서 살아요. We're gonna just copy that same exact question slash sentence. Okay, like this. 어디에서 살아요? 어디에서 살아요? Then we see the Statue of Liberty. 뉴욕에서 살아요. Very obviously, this is New York. So I'm gonna write 뉴욕에서 살아요. Alright, below that it says 어디에서 살아요? Same thing. We're just gonna rewrite the same thing. 어디에서 살아요? And it says 로스앤젤레스에서 살아요. I live in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, California. Alright, 로스앤젤레스에서 살아요. Alright, below that last one. 어디에서 살아요? Once again, same question. 어디에서 살아요? And then you're going to answer this on your own. So you're going to write wherever you're from. So I'm from New York, so I'm going to write 저는 뉴욕에서 살아요. But if you live in New Jersey, you can write that. If you live, I don't know, in where else? Long Island, you could write that. That's still New York, but if you live in let's see, like Boston or Delaware, wherever you live, you're just gonna write, okay? 저는 땡땡땡에서 살아요. Okay? Okay, so make sure you wrote everything correctly. Please double check. And then we're already on our last page. So I think something interesting about this book is that at the end of every lesson, there is some kind of cultural learning. So it says 문화 배우기. This is how the page looks like. We're on page 15, by the way. So on the top, it says 문화 배우기. Let's look at Korean culture. And it says 서울과 워싱턴. Seoul and Washington, D.C. So this is written in English, so we're just going to read it all together, okay? So follow along. It says, the capital city of Seoul is home to the Korean president and various government agencies. It is the political, economic, social, and cultural center of Korea. Approximately 10.5 million people live in Seoul, making it one of the largest metropolitan cities in the world. As it has been the capital city for more than 600 years, it is filled with historical landmarks. Washington, D.C. became the U.S. capital in 1790 and still holds a central position in the U.S. to this day. Tourists from around the world go to Washington, D.C. to see various monuments and visit important buildings. All right, so just as Washington is the capital of the United States, Seoul is the capital city of Korea. Okay, this is important to know for our culture. I've never been to Seoul, but it is very big with a lot of buildings. I think some of like the tallest buildings are there. Yeah, and it's just a little snippet of our culture, of our economy, and our what's that word? Geography. That makes sense. Yeah, so hopefully we learned something new today. That Seoul is the capital of Korea. Don't forget. And that actually marks the end of our lesson. We're already done. Thank you guys for watching, and this is the end. I will show you how the package looks like when I have it to be more thorough with what's in it and what's included. But thank you guys once again for watching this lesson, and Once again, if you need the textbook, the link is below. Okay, I will see you guys for lesson number 2 next week. 안녕.